What's up, guys? Welcome to round number 4. I think we are. Yep, round number 4 of the Output Racing League from Dover Speedway. The Monster Mile. As we see a little bit of action here on track already. How are you all doing out here? I am Corey Steinhauser. I am here for Aussie Sim Broadcasting, or Aussie Sim Commentator. So we get our camera sorted out. Now we did a practice race yesterday. As we see Stevo trying to get into the pits, locking up a little bit. Pit lane is going to be a very difficult place to get onto tonight. I've done a few practice laps myself and tried to do a few practice stops, and it's definitely not easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to do a couple of laps to show you what it's like on this track, as we normally do. So let's get into that.
That's it, go.
As we see Stevo there at the end of the pits, he was probably doing burnouts. So the apron here is very slippery. You can get very loose very quickly. It's all about making sure you don't get too slidey. As we let Brad go past, the earlier laps here are very important on new tyres, because that's when you're going to have the most grip. Several different lines that you can take. You can take the low, the mid, or the really high line. I'm going for like a mid to high there and down to low. I know I'm not going to be fast, but you know, it's all just for showing you guys what's going on. And some people run a little bit of brake, some people don't like to. Towards the end of a run, you'll see a lot of people using brakes.
Go right. 24.479.
A couple of trouble areas that we're going to be keeping a keen eye on is here on the exit of 2. But more so over here on the exit of turn 4, where the big bump is. It really can unsettle a car, especially if you get it wrong. The apron is also going to be a trouble spot if people are going too low. You hit that apron, you're likely to get loose and start to go up towards the wall. So if you're 2x2, you don't want to be getting too low there. And that's exactly what I was talking about with turn 4. We're going to be seeing a lot of that tonight if people are pushing too hard. And now I've just gone and bent this nicely presented Output Racing League Aussie Sim Commentator car. So we're going to build up some speed here, and we're going to come around and try and get onto pit road. As I said, it's a very hard pit road entrance, one of the hardest that we've got. 35 mile an hour or 56 kilometers per hour. And as I said, this apron is deadly. So you want to start braking really early, get down on the back straight. See, I managed to get it there, but we've already seen some people struggling to get onto the pit road here, especially if you're trying to do it quick under green flag stops. Alright guys, that was a quick little demonstration here of the Dover Speedway.
5.
So let's get back to the action now. So alrighty, welcome back folks. It seems that we lost the stream for a quick little second there. I don't know what happened, but looks like we are back now. So trying to find someone who's on track. Looks like we've only got the one car on track at the moment. And that is the 2 car, who is currently looking at P8. That's Mark Penticuff. As we got a whole line of people starting to come out now. Oh, and Jared's just been shafted. I'm not sure what was going on there. I think they might have been trying to organise a pit party, and it didn't look like it worked. So guys, let me know if you're watching the stream, who are you pulling for? If you're watching one of these guys on Twitch who streams on a regular basis, whose stream are you watching? It looks like we do indeed have a pit party going on. Got Jaren setting the pace. Oh, and Aaron got some wheel spin there off the start. We did a practice race last night just so everyone can get reacclimatized to the track, because it hasn't been on the schedule for iRacing for a couple of weeks. One thing we noticed was cars can be very prone to a little bit of wheel spin on the start. And it looked like Aaron fell victim to that one that time. Jaren was the victim of it last night. He spun the wheels on the initial start and caused a massive pile up. Box to Paul, watching Aaron stream, and yeah, it definitely looked like he was in first gear. Oh, Steve-O comes up and absolutely drills Jaren there. Ever the competitor Steve-O is. As we see the 18 car now. That is Brian Stones. He's currently sitting in P6 in times. Now we're just going to let iRacing decide who we're going to watch for a little bit. So we're going to say focus on crashes. And we'll see where iRacing takes us. Oh, excuse me there everyone, I had to sneeze. You see Aaron's getting a little bit sideways, he's being chased by Steve. Now these guys, they're a really good friendly bunch of people, and they take it as an anything goes kind of situation during practice. But they get serious when it comes time for the race. And that's where we need all the seriousness to be, is during the race. we now have 12 cars signed up for the race. Here's one of the Harmons, and now we've gone back to Lawson, and I don't know who we're on now. Definitely going to have to change the camera angle for when they're in the pits. Oh, and I've pressed the wrong thing. As we see the 57 there. So at the moment we've got Steve Turner taking out the front. Thomas Harmon's sitting in P2. Austin Hakes is in P3. Jaron Sanchez is in P4 at the moment. Tommy, the 57 car here, sitting a little bit deep in the field, but he'll be there. He's usually there or thereabouts towards the end of the race. No man, this is not an all Aussie field. In fact, I think it is a 0 Aussie field. The only reason why this is the Aussie Sim commentator is because I myself am an Aussie, and my co-commentator Brogan, who is not here at the moment, is actually a Kiwi. We are also both Twitch streamers, but we're not going to be advertising them here. And if you would like more information on the league itself, then make sure you go to output.com or outputracing.com, I think it is. In fact, I'll just go and double check that to be sure. Yep, outputracing.com. And that's where you can get all the latest news, reviews, stats, and standings. Now we're coming up to about nearly 12 minutes to go in this practice session. Boxer Paul, the head honcho for this, Jaron Sanchez, he's actually from California as well. That's why he created this league. Because normally, you know, when he gets on, leagues have already all been run and done. And, you know, he just wanted to be able to race in a league. So make sure you go and go to the website, follow the prompts on there, and go look them up in the league section of the iRacing website. And if you're interested, man, sign up. It's a lot of fun. As you can see, this year we're running the B car. Last season, in season 1 of Output Racing, they ran the C truck. Now we've got Thomas Harmon on the front, at the top at the moment with a 23.795, just 0.003 of a second faster than Steve Turner. Austin Hakes is sitting in P3, Tommy Bordeaux in P4, Jaron Sanchez P5, Brendan Bennett P6, Brian Stones in 7th, Trevor Harmon in 8th, Brad Lawson in 9th. Now we've got Charles Becker in 10th, Aaron is in P11, Mark Pentecoff is in P12, Robert Collins P13, and Stephen Schmidt is P14. As we just saw a car upside down now. I think that might have been the 2. But we don't know for sure. We see the 13 and the 86 coming out on the track now. That's Steve Turner and Aaron. I believe Steve is actually on top of the table as far as points are going at the moment. Yep, Steve Turner is in the lead of the point standings at the moment. Tommy Bordeaux is in 2nd, 4 points behind. Austin Hakes is sitting in 3rd, 6 points behind. Trevor Harmon's in 4th, and Zach Lindgren is in 5th, 20 points behind the lead. Aaron is actually sitting in 6th place, 26 points back. So things are looking pretty good at the moment for those top 6 drivers. I see a big slide there by Steve. Nose-to-nose contact with the 86 of Aaron. It's just like the 2 cars just came up and kissed each other. As we see Jaron struggling to come out of the pits there. Or is he going in? He's going in. He got it slowed down in time. 35 mile an hour, or 56 kilometers an hour. As we see Steve coming out of the pits. Just 6 minutes to go in this practice session, and then we're going to be into qualifying. And now we're being joined in the commentary box by my commentary partner, Brogan Pickett Norris. How you doing today, Brogan?
Not too bad yourself.
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, mate. Good to see you. Been keeping yourself busy?
As always.
For those of you who don't know, Brogan actually turns the spanners on a super stock in New Zealand. Same difference. At the moment we have 13 runners in the race. As we saw a quick glimpse there of the 13 car of Steve Turner stuck in the barrels at the end of pit road. Oh, sorry, at the start of pit road. You know what? I got my numbers wrong. We have 16 registered at the moment. Looks like we might have one or two that haven't gone out and laid any practice laps yet. Because my time does not count. Because I did that while showing you guys the track. I'm actually surprised. It seems we are going to be having a few issues with the stream today, which is unfortunate. As we got just 2 minutes to go in this practice session now. Thomas Harmon is still the man setting the pace. Makes me wonder how many have practiced a long green flag run. Because if the practice race last night was anything to go by, oh, as that was a very close entry there for the 29. But if last night's practice race was anything to go by, it's going to be a very long race indeed. With a lot of green flag running. Alright guys, with a minute to go in this session, we're going to go to a quick break and we'll be back when the drivers start gridding up for the 90 laps here at Dover. Alrighty everyone, we are back and it is race time now, here for round number 4 at Dover Speedway. Let's go through quickly the starters and drivers. Steve Turner on the pole with a 23.717, Tommy Bordeaux on his outside, Austin Hakes in P3, Thomas Harmon P4, Brandon Bennett P5, Matt Burgess P6, Zach Lindgren P7, Jaron Sanchez P8, Brian Stones P9, Mark Pennycuff P10, Trevor Harmon is 11th, Aaron is in 12th, Brad Lawson 13, Robert Collins 14, Charles Becker 15, and Stephen Schmidt starting out of 16th position. You see the pace car starting to take off now. So only one pace lap here at Dover. So we're going to get straight into this straight away. The lights are out on the pace car. 13 versus the 57. Who is going to take the lead into turn 1? Who is going to spin their tyres in the back of the field? All these questions will be answered very shortly. And the green flag is out. We are back underway. And look at this, Trevor Harmon, or Thomas Harmon, has the 38 car has made an absolutely amazing start.
Oh, and the 18 is already in the wall in the exit of turn 4.
So Thomas Harmon has made an amazing start, as I alluded to earlier. He is currently in P1. Steve Turner is back into P2. Tommy Bordeaux is in P3. Austin Hakes 4 and Brandon Bennett 5. As we see, things are starting to string out a little bit here. Everyone's starting to find their groove. No one wants to push it too hard just yet. Everyone just wants their own little piece of real estate.
I think the 18 found the wall again.
Well, we're back having a look at him right now. He's battling on the outside of the 86, and he is indeed in the wall again. He does not look like he's having a very fun time at all. But that's just the way it goes in these earlier laps. Seems to have gotten a handle on it that time. As we see the 16 going on the inside of the 86 of Aaron. Can the 18 follow him through? Not quite. But the 16 has now taken that position off of Aaron's hands, which is the 12th position. And things start settling out again here in the back. As we go back to our leader, Thomas is just pulling away now. He's got 0.7 of a second of a gap over Steve. And he is controlling this race as if it was some kind of game. The official entrant count for this race is 16. 16 guys doing this race right now. And so far everything's looking pretty clean. So we're just going to go through the field a little bit here, see what everyone's up to. The top three are pulling away from fourth. As I said, things are looking pretty strung out. We've got a battle here between the 63 and the 2. And this is the battle for 10th place. As we start moving back a little bit more, the 18 and the 86 have dropped back from the 16 car a little bit here. And we see right at the back here is the 61 car. But we're back on our leader now, Thomas Harmon. And he has nearly a full second gap on second place now. He's just calm and in control. No one is going to bother him for a while at least. Let's go back a little bit and have a look at what our league owner is doing. Back here in the 4 car, Jaron Sanchez.
Having a battle with the 41 here.
Yeah, Jaron's trying to get that 6th position. Looking low on the 41 of Brandon Bennett. Doesn't look like he's quite got the legs to get it done, and in fact he even got loose coming over that bump on the front straight there. And it looks like Jaron got a little bit of a run. Can he do anything with it? Can he get around Brandon? He looks low, goes right down towards the apron, and Brandon gives him all the room in the world. That is Jaron up into 6th place, everyone. League owner and operator. Now let's go back a little bit further. Let's go and have a look at what Brad Lawson is up to, the 63 car. In fact, it looks like we might have lost someone. Where is the 16? Nope, he's still right there. My little timing monitor here was just a little bit out of whack. Oh, I see why. He's blinking a little bit, that's why. So let's go back on the Brad. He's currently sitting in the 10th position. Looks like we might be losing Charles very shortly. He seems to be very blinky. Some would say that he's a bit of a blinky Bill. Well, let's go back to our leader, Thomas Harmon, who has built a 2-second gap now over the second place of Tommy Bordeaux. Steve Turner still sitting in P3. Let's go check in on Steve, see what he's up to. Looks like he's starting to get caught by 4th position. He might have used his tyres up a little bit too quickly there, trying to get back into the lead. As we are now 21 laps down in this race. Time is going by absolutely quickly in this 90 lap race. It's amazing what happens when you have a good bunch of drivers that don't like cautions. Now it doesn't look like Tommy's actually losing too much time to the leader Thomas. Just having a quick look at my timing monitor here, and it seems to be holding pretty steady at about 2 seconds on the straights and about 1.7 in the corners. But it is still slowly growing, about a tenth a lap. Let's go back and have a look at our 4th place driver here, Austin. He is catching up to the back of our current points leader. And it looks like he's also bringing along a friend. And that friend is Zach Lindgren. Now 25 laps down in this 90 lap race. So that means we just have a solitary 65 to go. And Tommy has definitely started catching up to Thomas a little bit here. I'll just look at my timing monitor. He's just gained 4 tenths on Thomas. So let's go have a look at Thomas and see if there's anything going on there. Maybe his tyres are starting to go off and he's getting a little bit loose on the bumps. So we've got a lot of support in chat here for Tommy and Austin. As our leader Thomas is catching up to the back of Aaron, who will be our first car 1 lap down in this race after 27 laps of running. Now the intensity will start to pick up a little bit as the leaders start getting through the lap traffic, because it's all about making sure you get around the lap cars as fast as you can, and hopefully your competitor struggles. So if you're Tommy, you want Thomas to have a really hard time getting around the traffic. If you're Thomas, you want Tommy to struggle. Looks like Thomas is becoming very conservative with the lines that he's choosing, as we got a slow car there, the 2 car, just pulling off the track on the infield. He might have gotten into the wall in turn 4 there. He's going very slow indeed. See if he's got any damage. Oh, as in the back there, we've got a crash. And that has brought out a caution. That is the 61 of Steven Schmidt. I didn't see completely what happened there, but it looked like he might have gotten turned. Let's see if we can have a look here. And in fact, he has. He's been turned there. Let's go back and have a look at that a little bit slower. See if we can see who the culprit was. And it is the 29 car who's turned him. Guess he's just expecting Stephen to go a little bit faster there. And that 29 is Trevor Harmon. Race officials might have to have a look at that one post-race, as we have started our pit stop cycle now. And there is Trevor coming in for his pit stop. As it looks like the 12 of Matt Burgess has assumed the lead because he didn't come in for a pit stop. Now let's see if we can bring someone up into the conversation here. And you know what? Let's get Schmitty in here himself. Hey Stephen, this is the comms box. Do you have a copy, man?
Sure do.
Hey man, what happened there? It looked like you didn't get the exit that you wanted off of 2 and just got a little bit of a tap from behind. How did it look like from your perspective?
Well, I was on really old tires. I was clearly a lap down, and I felt like somebody ran into me actually 2 times. And the second time it took me.
Oh, well that's unfortunate, man. It's a good thing that we got the fast repair in here. So how is that gonna affect the rest of your race now?
Well, my whole task here is to just keep it clean and kind of stay out of everybody's business. So hopefully that's what'll happen for the rest of the race.
Alright, no worries, man. Thank you for your time. Good luck for the rest of the race.
Thanks, man.
Good luck, Stephen.
Alright guys, that was the 61 of Stephen Schmidt there. Unfortunate there that he got caught up in that. Let's go and have a quick chat to Trevor Harmon and see what he says about it. Hey Trevor, you're on the comms box, man. How you doing?
Not too great at the moment.
Now we only got a very short time to chat here. What happened there in your perspective?
In my perspective, I had a way faster car, and he just kind of was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I didn't really have anywhere to go, to be honest.
Alright, no worries, man. Well, thank you for your time. I'll throw you back into the kettle of fish, and good luck for the rest of the race.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, guys. That was the 2 drivers involved in that incident. Thomas, and unfortunately, Mr. Schmitty there, Steve Schmidt. As we are at 1 to go now until we go back green. At the moment we've got Thomas Harmon on the pole, Tommy Bordeaux on P2, Austin Hakes 3, Steve Turner in P4, and Jaron Sanchez is currently up in the 5th position. Let's see how we go with this race start. Who is going to spin their tyres, if any? And it looks like we have lost the 24 car from the race. Last week's hard charger, Jared Polshy, he's lost an engine, and he doesn't have enough spare parts in the truck to get a new one. As we see an absolute takeaway lead by Thomas there on the restart. He has just absolutely schooled everyone, and he has built a gap for the ages. As we look back a little bit at P2 of Tommy Bordeaux, we've got Austin Hakes sitting in 3rd at the moment as well. Tommy's starting to build a gap over Austin, and Austin's just been overtaken on the outside by Steve there. In fact, it looks like Austin is might be experiencing an issue. He's going fairly slow there, but he's slotting himself back in line. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with his car. Right on his tail is the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. Looks like everyone got through there pretty alright. Let's go back up to have a look at our leader again. And he has amassed a huge lead already. He's already nearly out to a full second. As we saw someone in the pits there, I'm not quite sure who that was. I think that might have been the 15. And in fact, that was the 15 there. As I try to find the right camera angle, there he is. You know what? Let's go on board with Thomas. Just listen to the throttle control he uses through the corners. It's amazing when we have the technology to go into a car like that. Now the gap is slowly getting bigger, and so is the gap second to third. As we see, we might have a little bit of a battle here for the third place position. Steve is not going overly fast, and Zach is right on his tail there. And so is Austin. You can never discount Austin. Austin is right there behind the 85 of Zach. And so is Jaron. And we got Jaron's wife in the chat here cheering him on. She's been his biggest supporter for the entire season so far, even with his performance problems. He can't perform too well, and she's probably a little bit disappointed about that, but she still loves him anyway. He just doesn't have the gas to go to distance 9 times out of 10. As we see, Steve and Zach here starting to pull away from Austin. And Austin is going to be left to battle out with Jaron. I'm glad someone in the chat got those innuendos. It seems that things are starting to get very strung out now. Everything's just calmed right down as we start to come up to halfway in the race. There's Thomas. The race is officially halfway now. Thomas has gotten a 1 second gap. But Tommy, you know, he's not that far behind. I mean, these two have absolutely checked out from the rest of the field. But you look at things, these two, you know, they can still see each other. Steve can't see Tommy. Or at least if he does, it doesn't see him for very long.
And these two ain't no slouches in these cars either.
Oh no, that is for sure. These two are some of the fastest too that we have in this series. Let's go back and have a look at this little battle here. Jaron is still on the back of the 28, but these two have definitely fallen away from Zach and Steve. As Jaron's starting to look at making a move in his number 4 Output Racing Aussie Sim commentator Mustang. And in fact, right in front of them, right in front of them, it looked like Zach was trying to pull a move on Steve. Zach is looking hungry, knowing that the race is already half over, and he's gotten up to the bumper of Steve. Can he do anything with it? Not quite. Steve has just got that momentum across the outside there. And it looks like the 85 of Zach has just pulled off the move on the inside of Steve, and he has gotten that third position off of him. Our points leader is now sitting in P4 in this race. But it looks like he might be a little bit scared by Zach because he just started to blink out a little bit there. Oh, I don't think we are, Jared. I don't think we are. As we now come up to 40 laps to go in this race, I do believe the drivers will need to make at least one more stop to make it to the end. As we go back and focus on Jaron now, he's still right on the tail of Austin. Oh, Zach's, yeah, Austin.
The momentum out of the quarters.
But you can tell that he's starting to get desperate because the 63 is starting to catch up to these guys as well. And that is Brad Lawson.
Matt Burgess. Oh, and Austin gets in the wall on the exit of 2.
And that is what Jaron needed to get an issue with the timing there. Something was going wrong, that's for sure. Yeah, that's right, Jared. Aussie internet at its finest. But Thomas is still in the lead. He's built a one. He's still got that 1 second gap. So Tommy's not letting Thomas go. In fact, he is right there on Thomas's tail. Thomas must have gotten in the wall because Tommy is absolutely flying. In fact, you can see the damage on the right side of Thomas's car there. He's got damage and he's definitely showing it. And how long can Thomas hold on for with that damage? That will be the big question. As they're starting to get onto the back of lap traffic, there is Aaron again in the 86. He wisely moves out of the way for the 2 leaders. Oh, and it looks like Thomas got a little bit loose coming off of 4 there at the bump. Tommy couldn't do anything with it, but he could use it to make a run. Got 31 laps to go in this race, and the pace is absolutely electric right now with these front 2 drivers. Zach is about 2.5 seconds back behind them.
Oh, Tommy gets loose off of turn 4.
And that has just taken away all of his momentum. Let's hope he can gather it back up quickly and try and get back onto the tail of Thomas. Now, because of when the caution came out, we are probably going to be looking at around lap 60 to 70 for the pit stop window of where people can start making it home on fuel.
And it looks like Tommy is coming in for a pit stop.
See, Tommy's playing the strategy game here. He's going to pit right now, which is the earliest you can pit and still make it on fuel. I think the calculations that we had last night in the practice race was about 41 laps that your fuel could last. As we see Thomas start to come into the pits as well here. And there is Zach as well.
Aaron as well.
And Steve is still out on track. He's assumed the lead now. Jaron Sanchez right behind him. For a second then I thought Steve was going to come in for a pit, and in fact he is. Him and Jaron are going to come in together. And so is Austin. So now we have Brad Lawson in the 63 in control of this race. Right behind him is the 12 of Matt Burgess. Are these two going to come into the pits as well? Not this time. Right behind them in P3 at the moment is Brian Stones in the 18 car. It looks like Brad's going to attempt for a stop as well. Oh, he locked up the brakes. Locked them up trying to get into his pit box. As we now go on to the 12th of Matt Burgess, who has assumed the lead. What does this mean for when things come time for everything to start smoothing out and readjusting? Who's going to end up in the lead of this race?
Oh, someone's on the wall. It's the number 2. It's Mark. Mark Pentacalf is in the wall.
Let's go a quick look through the field here, see what's going on. As we see the leaders cutting their way through some more lap traffic. There's Aaron again, going another lap down very shortly. We see the 4 car of Jaron Sanchez is behind the 28 of Austin there. We'll go check in on the 63 of Brad Lawson in 7th position. And he's followed closely by what looks to be Charles Becker. And we have a caution. I'm not entirely sure what's happened. Let's see if we can go back and have a look at what's just happened. Oh, and it's the 16 car. It looks like he might have blinked out and gone for a spin coming off turn 2. That's unfortunate for him. So this is an interesting spanner into the works. Do our leaders come in to pit again for some fresh tyres? With 11 laps to go, and in fact Thomas has come in, and so has Tommy. It looks like everyone is going to come in for some fresh boots on their car. And what about these lap cars? Are they going to come in? Are they going to stay out? Because they will be eligible for a wave round, which will get a lot of them back onto the lead lap, or just a singular lap back. And we see Thomas is the first one back out of the pits. Tommy right behind him. And they join onto the back of the rest of the field here. As we see the lap cars starting to come in now. Looks like we've got a couple people staying out in the 29 and the 2. The 2 hasn't been having a very good run today. That's why he's that far back. We've also got the 15 and the 86 staying out. So all of them will receive a wave around, but they will have to restart on old tyres. Now this is where things are going to start getting really interesting. With less than 10 laps to go, and everyone on brand new cold tyres. Alright, we're 1 to go until we are back under green flag conditions. So we've got Thomas Harmon, Tommy Bordeaux, Zach Lindgren, Brad Lawson and Steve Turner as your top 5. 7 laps to go when we get to the line. The pace car is in. And we are back underway. Thomas has gotten a big jump. A little bit of wheel spin. Back in the pack a little bit there. But Thomas has gained an unassailable lead already. And we are... Conversation here. Hey, Aaron, this is the commentary box. Do you have a copy, man?
Yeah, I got you.
What happened on that restart?
I spun out the tires and lost it. That's pretty much it.
Do you think that was because you were on older tires, or...
Had to have been. Yeah, I had to have been because I was an older tire.
Alright, no worries. Well, we'll let you get back into your race, and thanks for taking this little bit of time to come speak to us.
Anytime.
Alright, see ya.
Luck, Eric.
Alright, so that was Aaron in the 86 machine. It looks like we might already be on 2 to go. Doesn't look like anyone's taken a pit stop. The couple of wave around cars might have, but no one else has. So this will set up a very thrilling finish. It looks like we're going to have about 3 laps to go when we get the green flag. But if another caution was to come out after the green flag, that will end the race. And in fact, I'm wrong. We're not on 1 to go yet. We might be on 2 to go right now. Which means that it would be a green-white checkered finish. And after the white flag comes out, there is no possibility of a yellow flag. Alright, we're going to find out if we're going to go green next time by. All eyes are on the pace car lights. And the lights are out. We are at 1 to go. So that means we will indeed have a green-white checkered to finish this race off. All eyes are going to be on the leaders, because the 38 and the 57 have been absolutely dominant all race. But what can Steve do from P5? What can Jaron do from P7? I mean, what can Austin do from P6? And you can never count out Brad Lawson or Zach Lindgren for that fact. And we are back underway. Thomas has gotten a big jump off the start. Just looking back a little bit, Tommy has got a bit of a fight on his hands with Zach Lindgren. And Zach has gotten that second place, and here comes Steve for P3. Steve couldn't quite get it, they both got a little bit loose as we are now on the last lap of this race. Looks like Steve's going to have to settle for P4, but what can he do coming out of the final turn? As we go back to our leader, Thomas Harmon, you have earned this one. The dominant car all race, took the lead on the first lap and never looked back. Here's your winner, Thomas Harmon, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, it was a good race. Zach Lindgren came in P2, Tommy Bordeaux P3. Alright guys, we're going to take a quick little break here, and we'll be back with our top 3 podium and our hard charger award. Alrighty, and we are back, and we've got third place sitter Tommy Bordeaux sitting in the box with us right now. Tommy, let's have a talk about that last restart there, mate, because that was very close to you falling out of the top 3. How was the restart for you? Just talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was super intense. You know, I had gotten decent restarts earlier in the race, especially the opening one. I actually picked up the lead for, well, a little bit, but I'll talk about that later. Just spun the tires a lot, let Zach get underneath me, and then from then on had the high line, and of course that's not where you want to be here. So lost some ground there, and Steven and I were side by side. Thought, oh shoot, I'm gonna lose the top 3 here, but luckily just eked it out, and a top 3 is a good day any day. So just happy to come away with that after all was said and done.
Yeah, well, top 3 is definitely a good day, no matter how you square it off. So, what was it like, you know, knowing that you had that green-white checker to finish, and being so close to losing it.
It was brutal. I was really hoping we would get actually a long green flag run to end it. The last two cautions actually were definitely something that I didn't want to see. Um, Thomas Harmon, first of all, congratulations to him on dominating today's race. He did a great job. First half of a run, he'd kind of skip away from me a little bit, and then kind of the second half, I'd close on up. And on that last run, I did close within a second to him, and I thought, oh, if this stays green, we're gonna have a chance. But unfortunate cautions at the end kind of didn't play to my hands. But still a great day in the TommyBordeaux.com Ford Mustang here.
Alright, no worries, mate. Well, thank you for your time. Congratulations on P3, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Got to give a shout out real quick to Austin Hakes, my teammate, Joseph Weaver. He's not here tonight, but thanks to him. Thanks to Jaron for putting on the league. You guys for broadcasting. I'll see everyone next week. Go check out TommyBordeaux.com. Best website on.
Alright, guys, so that was Tommy Bordeaux P3, and now we are going to move on to our second place getter of Zach Lindgren. Zach, mate, how are you going?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Oh, we're doing pretty excellent, mate. How was that green-white checker to finish there, stealing that second place away from Tommy?
It was pretty intense. I knew from the get-go it was going to be intense, but I wanted to stick with Thomas as much as I could. But as soon as he got that restart and pulled about half a second in front of us, I knew the battle was going to be for second. So, I knew it was going to be a good battle. I mean, Tommy had a top 2 car all race, and I maybe had a top 5 at best, so I knew this would be my best chance to get him. And I threw it into 3, to be quite honest with you. I threw it in as hard as I could, hoping it stuck, and sure enough it did. So I'll take a second after coming in late, getting no practice laps, getting a poor qualifying lap in. I'll take a second.
Yeah, well, it definitely looked like you had your hands full on that last restart. What was it like, restarting on those, a couple of lap old tyres? Even though they're not really that old, there's still a different feel on the restart here to brand new tyres.
Yeah, extremely different. I mean, on the initial start, to start the race, I mean, I almost spun her just to get going, and so I knew I had to be really patient on that. On this last restart, I knew that we already restarted on him once, and I almost spun it out again. So I knew I had to be extremely patient, but try to keep up with Thomas, and he just did a better job of taking off than I did. Like I said, I wanted to stick right on his back bumper and try to have a chance, but he just had a way better launch, and I didn't really want to try to keep up with him and possibly wreck the field, so I just kind of gave it up. But like you said, there's just a huge change on any kind of tires, new, old. It's really hard to get them started, and they like to spin really quick on these things.
Alright, mate, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out for before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd just like to give a shout out just to everyone in iRacing. Help me, who's ever helped me, big or small. I mean, I wouldn't be here today without them. The brave men and women overseas defending this great country. WFO Motorsports. You guys up here in the booth for dedicating your time to broadcast this. Jaron, everyone that's involved in the league that puts on the show. So huge shout out to those guys. That's all I got for right now.
Alright, no worries. Thank you very much, mate. Congratulations on P2 for a good points haul, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome, brother. Thank you.
Alright, and now we're going to move on to our first place getter. This is becoming a bit of a habit
Get pulled.
for the number 38 of Thomas Harmon. G'day, Thomas. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad. Pretty good. Get that W.
Yeah, you got the big win today. You were absolutely dominant the entire race. What is your secret?
Jaron kind of said it. I don't know if you heard it earlier, but it's kind of like a bigger Bristol, and we all know my love for Bristol, but just kind of translate over here well with the big corners and trying to time when you need to get back in the gas and when you need to lay out of it, just trying to get that down, and it just works to my benefit.
Well, how was the feeling of knowing that you're going into that last restart with a green-white checkered on slightly used tyres compared to all the other restarts when you had new tyres?
I knew that with the whole shots I was getting that I would be fine as long as I didn't spin the tires, and that's why I continued launching in the corners when I did. so that we didn't get the flat, non-grippy areas and spin everybody out.
Yeah, that's something that our league owner Jaron needs to learn for the next practice race that he does here.
So I've heard.
Oh, so mate, you are absolutely racking up these podiums. Where do you think this is going to set you overall in a grand scheme of things?
Not being able to get into the race last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember what it was. That I think kind of hurt, but it's going to hopefully, if I continue doing this and finishing up here, get me in a spot to be competitive at the end of the season for a champion.
Well, mate, I definitely hope so. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank while you're still here?
Yeah, I give a shout out to all the competitors today. Tommy, especially for he actually started running me down the longer runs, a little bit at a time, but it was enough to make me sweat and push harder. And then S2R for being my team, letting me run with them, and Jaron for putting on the league, and you in the booth, broadcasting it to all our fans out there.
Alright, no worries. Well, thank you very much for your time, man. Congratulations on P1, and good luck for the rest of the season. And we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. See you guys there. Thank you.
Alright, guys, that was our top 3. And now, it's time to reveal our hard charger of the race. Now, this person has gone from 13th to P6, and that person is the 63 car of Brad Lawson. Congratulations, mate. You are our hard charger of the race. You are now in the running for a $5 iRacing gift card at the end of the season. But ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for us this evening. Thank you all for coming out. It's been an absolute blast for myself and for Brogan, my commentating partner. We've enjoyed broadcasting this event for you, and we will see you all next week. So long for now.
See you, Zim.